There's no doubt, if you're the one paying the bills, you're the one paying the energy costs on your home, you know that the cost of natural gas, propane, electricity, all of that is going through the roof. So what comes to mind? Energy efficiency. Hi, welcome to the Renovation Nation. I'm Howard, your renovation guru. Don't forget, hit the notification bell, subscribe to this channel, and make sure to share it. And if there's any comments that you would like to leave as far as subjects to touch, any questions that you might have, feel free to leave them below. But please make sure to subscribe to this channel. It's a growing channel. We want it to grow nationally. Anyway, energy efficiency. Man, especially now with the price of fuel, the price of gas and everything else that's going up. We hit the winter months. We know we're going to be using the gas more, the electricity more. During the summertime, we're turning on the air conditioning. And you wonder, man, I need to really seal up this house, get better insulation, windows, redo my AC system. You kind of wonder, how can I do that? How can I afford it? Well, if you can afford to pay cash on it, great. But sometimes to get energy credit and everything else, one would have to probably get like a HERS rating. If you ever heard that, contact a company that specializes in energy efficiency. And this time I went out and I talked to an old friend of mine, Hayden Logan with Green Energy Solutions, had a little chat with him. How does a business work? What do you expect when one of these guys come over and they do an energy upgrade to your house? So I'm on the scene. I went through his shop and I sat down and had a talk with him. Listen into that conversation. Hey, so we're out in the field. Happened to visit a good old friend of mine, Hayden Logan. He has a company called Greener Solutions. Specializes in energy efficient modifications to homes like AC, windows, insulation, all that other kind of stuff. And I thought it might be kind of good to talk about, what is it to be energy efficient? If someone wants to get an energy efficient mortgage, or maybe they just want to look for to make their home and heating a little bit more efficient, because Lord knows we know the energy prices are going up. How does this work? I mean, what are some of the terms and some of the things that you hear about, a better understanding and what to expect and everything else like that? So before I start, Hayden, I've known you for a long time.
A long time. Yeah, I think we met back in 2008. So
in 2008, and you were just a little puppy, just barely getting into the construction business, kind of like following under the tutelage of your dad, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, but you kind of been the maverick and split off on your own, and you were doing just construction and renovation and all that other kind of stuff. But you kind of started focusing more and more on green energy. For one thing, it was a real good niche.
Great niche, yeah.
At the time, and you didn't have to be so spread out with materials and expertise all over the place to be able to focus in. Why don't you kind of talk a little bit more about that genesis?
Well, what I realized back, Howard, we met around 2008, 2009. We started doing the FHA 203K, full-blown renovations, whether it was full remodeling, roofs, flooring, windows, heating and air, kitchen remodels, all of that stuff, which is great. It's absolutely, and the products you have, Howard, are phenomenal. Mm-hmm. What I found is that there was this niche of, people needing to do brand new, beautiful windows on a home that was less attractive, but they didn't really know how to do that. And so that's when we really saw that the energy efficient mortgage was just such a powerful tool for these new home buyers. Mm-hmm. So what I found is, when we started doing those energy efficient mortgages, we became very popular in our area of San Joaquin County here in California, because everybody has high energy bills where we live, and doing windows, doing attic insulation, doing new heating and air has been just so powerful for them. So, do you want the start to finish product of how it works, or?
Well, let me just kind of ask you what, you might have almost touched this. What would be your typical client?
Okay.
Would it be someone buying a house, someone refinancing? What are they typically looking at? And matter of fact, what is the most popular things that people have done?
So our most popular client is going to be an FHA home buyer, buying potentially their first house. They've picked their neighborhood, they've picked their school district. Their buying amount is just enough to get in that neighborhood, but maybe not just enough to have the nicest house in that neighborhood. And what we find is the folks they get pre-qualified with Howard. At that point in time, they go look at homes, and they love this one house, but it has a really old heating and air system.
Right.
It has a really old set of windows.
Right.
And something phenomenal about the program is we can do roofing as well. So it has a really old roof. And the people are able to identify at that point through their real estate agent, through you, through me, that it's okay, we can help them out with this.
Uh-huh.
They can buy the home and get that beautiful set of windows.
So when they're buying the house, it's coming with single pane windows,
Yep.
old AC if it even has an AC and
Yep.
heater. The insulation is probably old school insulation.
Yep.
The doors don't really fit right, so they're all drafty and everything.
Yep.
That whole thing, and the roof is not quite that great, and probably only has maybe very few, if not much,
Yep.
life left in it.
Yep.
That sort of thing.
Yeah. And so what we find with this program, every single upgrade has to be energy efficient. So it's the energy efficient mortgage. So it has to tie to either windows, heating and air, insulation, or roofing. Those are the main four. They can also do water heaters and, like you said, exterior doors as well.
Right.
But the big products are typically the windows, the insulation, the heating and air of the roof.
Okay.
Yep.
And you'll have clients that are people who are refinancing or own their home already, and they want to do some of the updates and stuff as well. So they'll give you a call.
Absolutely.
I'm assuming that they get some sort of energy credit for it.
Yeah. So there's a couple different things depending on which jurisdiction they're in, depending on who their energy company is, whether it's PG&E, SMUD, Southern California Edison, wherever you're located in California, there's different PG&E rebates, tax credits along those lines as well. So we would need to start first with what we call a home energy appraisal, also known as a HERS rating, which is a home energy rating to see how energy efficient the home is today.
And I know that that's required if someone wants to get financing, like
Yep.
An energy efficient mortgage, for example. They need that HERS rating
Yep.
on there, but they also need that HERS rating for any kind of energy credit, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so what's involved in a home energy rating, a HERS rating?
So we would be sending out a professional that's basically green certified. They would be basically doing a full diagram of the home. They would be checking wall insulation, attic insulation, the duct distribution system to see how thick the duct work is, pressures and efficiency of the heating and air system. They would be checking all of the windows, and we would put this into a software. That software would basically tell us how energy efficient the home is today versus how energy efficient the home will be in the future once we do energy upgrades.
Okay, and you plug in all the parameters of what's going to go in there.
Yep.
So I'm kind of a geeky kind of person because I
Yep.
was really intrigued the fact you have a software that'll determine that.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, if I'm sitting in the house and you guys are coming by doing a HERS rating or whatever, what am I seeing? What am I experiencing?
So you're experiencing a guy in a tool belt with a tape measure, different temperature guns, different types of tools to check air pressure distribution, all of those good things. Usually they take anywhere from an hour to 3 hours, depending on the size of the home. We always encourage our customers to walk around with us and become as knowledgeable as possible. So really, we're doing a full inspection of the entire home. It's kind of like a home inspection, but we're going to be really focused on those big things like the insulation, the heating and air system, the roofing, the insulation and windows.
So when you're checking air temperature or whatever with your sensors, then you're putting it in your computer,
Yep,
or whatever, and then it kind of spits out.
yep.
You know,
So we're plugging this into our software. That is something that we take down all the numbers, document everything on site, and then take a few hours behind a computer to update everything. So we actually don't carry a laptop with us on site. That is something we used to do, but it was taking too long. So we come in, we take all the data, we get to know the home, and then we come up with observations and then basically present those to the future home buyer. Hey, this is what we recommend doing. And what we're going to find is that the overall cost of the home is going to lower because we're going to save so much energy that it's actually going to save more energy than what you're spending on your mortgage.
Is there a target percentage or whatever that the HERS rating has to be at where it makes sense?
So usually the key number is usually about $100. So
$100 a month?
$100 a month.
Wow.
So what we're trying to do is we're trying with our upgrades to knock off $100 off the utility bill per month. If we can knock off $100 per month on that utility bill, the future home buyer will be saving that $100 and be able to put that $100 towards these upgrades that we would be doing.
Okay.
Yep.
And then they'll get the information, a printout
Yep.
or something, and then they could use that along with their tax returns or
Yep.
a form that they get saying that we're now energy efficient, I spent this money.
Yep. So we call that the home energy savings report. So we send over the customer a home energy savings report. And that's going to not only give them the options of, hey, would you like to do your windows, your insulation, and your roofing? This is what it's going to cost per month, and this is what it's going to save per month.
Okay.
And as long as that savings number is higher than the spending number, that's where you would qualify. So,
And it's the same kind of testing you do whether the house is heated with gas or electric.
yep.
Anything like that.
Yeah, whether it's all electric, whether it's on natural gas or on propane, the test is the same. Anywhere in California, it's a statewide test. So this would be the same for anywhere in the state.
Okay, and since people who may be listening to this may be outside of California, I'm kind of assuming there's kind of the same standard, at least on a national level.
There's a national registry, it's called, which the standards are basically apples to apples. So in California, we typically have a little higher standard than the rest of the states.
Okay.
So typically 9 times out of 10, anything that we do in California is the same thing an organization would be doing in Nevada or Arkansas or Tennessee.
So say, for example, somebody just needs the full Monty. They need the windows. They need the hot water heater, which may be converting it to an instant hot or
Absolutely.
Tankless.
Yeah.
A roof, windows, doors, insulation. How long does from start to finish? Say when I call you to the time that I'm actually enjoying, the fruits of what I've spent on this.
So that's a great question. So with us, we're usually about 3 to 6 weeks out at all times. So we have a schedule that, if we take a FHA home buyer, they look at a home today, they give us a jingle and they say, we want a home energy savings report completed. We'll typically come out within about 24 to 48 hours, get them their report, work directly with the realtor and with Howard to get all these numbers in. That process usually takes a few days. That's about it. At that point in time, we would put you on the schedule so that you're not waiting 3 to 6 weeks after you close escrow. So we get you on the schedule then. So once you do close escrow, it's just a matter of getting the materials so that we can get in the home and get all the work done. So if we're doing all new windows, windows usually have about a 45-day building process. And then we can get them in immediately within a few days. So typically windows, on average, about 2 months after the close of escrow, that is when you're getting your brand new windows.
Okay. And so, this is a great tool if someone's an FHA buyer, and that's all that needs to be done. Yeah. They could get that with an FHA energy efficient mortgage.
Yep.
The HERS rating gives them the ticket to go under that program, but also for the energy savings on their taxes and things like that.
Yep.
But one thing to also note is if you're doing general renovation, whether it's going to be a purchase or a refinance, where you're getting energy upgraded stuff, you can still get the financing for that. Whether you want the HERS rating for that or not is not necessary. However, it is a small cost to pay for, and I'm assuming there's an initial cost for that rating, to then still get the benefit on your tax returns, for the energy savings as well.
Yeah. So our cost for the HERS report's $250.
Yeah, which is nothing.
Which is really just, it doesn't even cover the time to do it, which is very economical. And sometimes, depending on what year you're doing this, a lot of the times we'll have different rebates and credits through California Association of Realtors, through Lodi Association of Realtors, Sacramento Association of Realtors, just depending on where your real estate agent is located. So again, you would simply give us a jingle so that we can tell you what programs are available at that time for you.
Okay. Let me ask you a quick question about windows.
Yep.
Because I'm kind of like in the process of replacing windows in my house. And I've kind of learned something very different, very interesting. And the person listening to this may want to take some of the advice. There's two kind of windows you can get. There's one that you could go down and buy pre-made, pre-sized windows.
Yes.
Right? Say like Home Depot or wherever.
Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware. Yep.
Or you could get custom windows.
Yep.
Right? Now, you might think it's cheaper buying the pre-made windows from Home Depot.
For $250.
$250.
Yep.
Such a great deal. But then if you want to do your DIY on a project and do it yourself, you're going to find out this window ain't necessarily fitting. Not fitting. Where it's going, where it should go. Yeah. And then you're going to be tearing out that wall, reframing everything, and you're going to end up with a lot more cost.
Sheetrock, siding, stucco, insulation, all the window products that we use are actually custom manufactured to your home.
Right.
And they actually fit in the existing hole like a puzzle piece.
Right.
So we basically manufacture all the standards of our windows are about 10 times more efficient and quality than anything a big box store sells.
Right.
What they're selling on the store in Home Depot, Lowe's is a standard one size fits all product and won't qualify for any PG&E rebates, tax credits, or this program.
Yeah.
So those don't even follow the FHA standard guidelines. So in this program, the equipment that we actually install, from the windows to the heating and air to the roofing, etc., follows a very strict guideline for FHA approvals, energy efficiency, all of those guidelines.
But the real lesson to be learned here is you think you're getting a better deal. When you're finding out, you're either going to be returning them all and calling an installer who's going to be able to provide custom windows, which are going to cost more in the beginning, but in the long run it's less because you're not destroying the stucco or having to reframe everything. It's just less headaches and overall really less cost. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. So, and ultimately it's going to save you more money because your energy bills,
it's a better product,
PG&E rebates, and all that good stuff as well.
It's a better product. Yeah. And on those dual pane windows, do they do like nitrogen filled kind of?
Yep. So every product that follows these guidelines through FHA and the energy efficient mortgage. Everything has to be triple OE tinted. There's argon gas between the glass. The glass that we install as well is a lot thicker than your standard glass. And then also the vinyl is a lot thicker on these high grade windows as well than something that you would see at Home Depot. So it would definitely be a night and day difference from what you're buying on a shelf in a big box to the product.
How long is it expected to last, a window with the argon gas and everything?
So if you talk to the window manufacturer, they're saying lifetime. What the lifetime warranty is typically about 20 years. So these windows last about 20 to 30 years. So
what happens if, God forbid, it always happens, somebody breaks a window?
So if somebody does break a window, there was like this thing going around that's covered under window warranties. I still have never met a company that does that, but our windows, if it's a manufacturer defect, if it's a contractor defect, we actually warrant it for lifetime of the window. So it's a 20-year warranty.
Right.
If Johnny next door throws a baseball through your window, give us a call. We'll change out the glass for a few $100s.
Right. So it's not necessarily a complete cost of the window.
No.
It's going to be a little bit more expensive than just putting new paint in because you're putting the gas back in.
Yeah, we actually do both the windows, the inner window and the outer window, and we custom make the glass, put them together, and then install it back in the window.
So you're actually installing glass that has a gas already sealed in it and put it. Okay, I've never really.
Yeah. It's called an OG. So and we're basically installing the entire glass unit that between the glass has that argon gas that we talked about. Now, what the argon gas does, because a lot of people don't know, it blocks moisture, it blocks the transfer of heat and cool, and then ultimately, if that pane was to ever break its seal, the window would start bleeding, like bleeding moisture. So that's how you know if you've ever gone into a home that has chalky windows, if there's water vapor inside the window, you know right off the bat that between the two pieces of glass there's been a break. So
all right, well that makes sense.
Yeah.
Geez, I can't think of anything else other than you've been a wealth of knowledge.
Renovation financing, I think, is the one thing that, if you're a home buyer, there's always work to do at the home.
Yeah.
So it would be better to finance the improvements and get the work done by a professional than to put it on your honey-do list.
Yeah.
If you were a listing agent and you know you're listing a home that needs improvements, why not just put that in the real estate remarks and say, hey, this home qualifies for energy efficient upgrades.
Right.
If you're an agent that, you're working on behalf of the buyers, why not present this to them?
Yeah.
So that they can get that much better of a deal. It's just instant for the home. It's when you buy a home, there's just so much work to do. Why not have a great heating and air system that keeps you comfortable and doesn't cost you an arm?
And I can tell you probably 99.9% of the time, whenever somebody buys a home and it's an older home, it either has old dual pane windows or none at all. That's one of the first things that kind of comes, into their mind is we have to replace, the windows and stuff. We've been so ingrained now, and rightfully so, of how to make things a little bit more energy efficient because, again, the cost of energy
so much
is expensive and it ain't getting cheaper, right? So, that's why people are buying solar panels and all this other kind of stuff. So, excellent. Hayden, dude, you're killing it.
Always a pleasure.
It was good talking to you. And thank you guys for tuning into this, on the scene of Renovation Nation. Hey, welcome back. A lot in there, a lot of information, a lot of anecdotal stuff, but it's a good idea in this day and age, especially with the increased cost of energy, to look at energy efficient home upgrades. There are some rebates and everything that are out there. Some vary from county, state, wherever you're at. Look to see that take the most advantage of that. Usually they require some sort of a HERS rating as was discussed. Anyway, thank you for joining me in the Renovation Nation. Please make sure to subscribe, share, hit the notification bell to notify whenever a new episode comes out, and make sure to leave comments if you have any subjects or anything that you would like for me to talk about, or any questions you might have about this episode or maybe any other episode. Anyway, this is Howard, your renovation guru. Thank you for joining me on the Renovation Nation.